Australian made and owned, Hi-Tech Oils is one of the largest oil blenders in Australia with a truly national profile, supplying an extensive range of oils, coolant, grease, batteries and much more for all businesses and consumer needs. Choose Hi-Tech Oils for peace of mind.
On today's show, we return to Sydney Dragway for our continued penultimate round coverage of the 400 Thunder Drag Racing Series, the Gulf Western Oil's Nitro Thunder. This week we bring you all the two-wheeled action from Pro Bike and Top Bike. Then we head south to Wakefield Park Raceway in Goulburn as the big rigs of motor racing commence a new season of Super Truck action with the opening round of the Australian Super Truck Nationals. This is Speedweek.
Welcome to 400 Thunder Drag Racing. We're at Sydney Dragway. It's the Gulf Western Oil Nitro Thunder. And on today's show, it's bikes and bikes. We've got all of the action of the Pro Stock motorcycles, the Pro Bikes, and the Nitro methane burning top bikes will be on the show as well. Sydney Dragway, the weather's absolutely perfect today. Rain was around yesterday. The teams didn't get their testing in, but everything is set for an incredible session. With 2 rounds of the championship left, Pro Bikes being led by Glenn Worcester. Matt Kavanagh caught up with him in the pits.
Glenn Worcester, you're currently leading the championship in Pro Stock Bike, and you've got a new engine combination on board for this weekend.
Yeah, we have actually. That's the first time it's been on the track. It's we had it on the dyno and that, but that felt good. That was just probably get my nerves under control a bit too, so it's nice to make it down the other end.
And the weather's a whole lot better compared to yesterday, a lot drier, of course, that's a good start. Do you think we could see a 6 this weekend?
Oh, look, I don't know. Look, you see what the pro cars and that are doing, and it's only early days, but you never know. There's good field here, so we'll be certainly trying to aim high, but 7's, it's nice. Hose, hey, what do you do?
Who do you think will be your biggest competition this weekend?
No, everyone's here, so like Luke's already got good numbers on the board, Luke Crowley, Ryan's up there, so we're just trying to get up there too, so hopefully we can mix it up with them a bit, so it should be good.
Let's have a look at those points. Glenn Worcester on top, 188 is a handy lead, but Lockie Island and Ryan Learmont are well and truly close enough, as is Daniel Rabnott. Defending champ Morris Allen, well, he's only run part of the season. He's not really there. Luke Crowley is the guy though, coming back after some time off and looking fast.
Luke Crowley, you've run one of the fastest runs in Pro Bike in Australia at a 7:05, I believe.
We actually went 7:04 at the 2018 Winter Nationals. The bike's been faster again when I had it back in America, sort of thing. So we know it's capable of running in the 6-second zone. I'm not going to say it's going to run there this weekend, but we're hoping to sort of replicate what we did at the Winners. Every run we came out at the Winners and we went faster and faster and faster. Wild ride in that last test session. we've calmed it down a bit and can only hope for the best in the next one.
The predictions, that is the talk in Pro Bike at the moment. Who will run the first 6 in Australia? Have you got any predictions who it might be?
Not at this stage. I'd like to say it's going to be us, and we're here to try and do that. But then, end of the day, it's there's a lot of tough bikes out there at the moment. Like I got these other 2 guys beside me here that are tuned. I know at least one of them can run with me this weekend. Morris can run fast when he's on his game, and we can't count anyone out here this weekend of who might do it, who might not do it. All depends if the weather comes around a little bit later on. If we get some dry air, we can definitely go after it later on tonight.
Well, we know there's a number of bikes here with the horsepower to run 6 seconds, but it comes down to having all of the elements come together. That includes the track condition, the weather conditions, the clutch settings, the gearing on the motorcycles, because they can play with that depending on exactly how they're approaching things. We're going into round 1 of our racing, and it's the 3-round all-run system that the 400 Thunder Championship uses at many of its rounds. We're going to get to see all of the competitors 3 times, and it's all about getting enough points. Mark Allen, the ET points are almost, often more important than the win points.
Yeah, in this all-run format, rounds 1 and 2 of racing, the quickest riders in each round get 8 points for the quickest ET, 7 points for the second quickest ET, 6 points for the third, and so on. So those bonus points really add up throughout the season. And of course, you want those bonus points here at this event because you want to run in that championship final.
Yes, the 2 with the most points after 2 rounds race in that championship final. Will it be Morris Allen or Daniel Rabnott to grab them here?
Oh, whole shot for Rabnott.
A lot of smoke out of Morris Allen's bike. Rabnott across the line first, gets the win with a 7.44 at 280. Morris Allen a 7.50, but that bike still smoking heavily.
Yeah, we'll have to look at the Sunoco replay shortly, but Morris Allen's bike, it didn't look really good from the start line, straight off the hit. We're on board here with Morris Allen on the Sunoco replay. You can see the whole shot for Daniel Rabnott. He streaks away there on his bike.
Well, the plan with that camera is to see 2 bikes in shot, but Rabnott just ran away with it, gets the win.
Yeah, have a look at the far side of the screen here. Look at the smoke there from Morris Allen's bike. It didn't look like a happy engine, and it was well down on its normal performances as well.
You've got to say, Rabnott, though, keep an eye on him. He was so light in the front wheel. He is just skipping that wheel across the pavement. And a 7.44, well, I think he'll be reasonably happy with that, but he's going to be happy with the 20 win points. That is more to the point. There's Morris Allen, and I've got to tell you, when you have a fiery sitting there waiting for the panelling to come off, obviously things were very warm inside that engine. Chris Soldatis, pro stock driver, over there hanging on to the front of the bike.
Yeah, it's not a happy bike at all. You can see the smoke there coming out from inside.
And I've got to say, good work by the fiery, just not to instantly hit it with chemical, etc. Looks like a CO2 extinguisher on the spot, so obviously thinking along the lines of an electrical fire. So Morris Allen's going to have plenty of work to do in the pits when he gets back up there. In the meantime, our championship leader, Glenn Worcester, for the Force Wear group, he's about to do his pass. An uneven number of competitors in round 1. That means the championship leader gets the bye run. That's pretty handy.
It takes a lot of pressure off you as a rider here, so all he has to really concentrate now is just get the bike in the position that they want the bike on track. Just focus on his own riding right now, get the revs correct as they go into stage. They'll dump that clutch.
What he's after is low ET of the round though, Mark.
Yeah, 7.44, that is the time to be if you want to get the maximum 8 points, along with the win points here for Glenn Worcester. Sounded like he butted off slightly early ago. 7.10. Glenn Worcester, the championship leader. That is a PB for the team as well.
7.10, and he said that hopefully they might be able to run some 7.0s. He's very close to it right on this first round pass.
That was a great launch for the bike as well. 1.08 seconds to the first increments there on track at about 20 metres down track, the 60-foot marker. And across the finish line there, it looked like he rolled off slightly early, goes 7.10. A personal best for the team there. They are happy, ecstatic, and they'll move into round 2 very confident.
Yeah, crew chief Trevor Burrell there, fists in the air. They're happy with that one. He's crew chief to more Australian Pro Stock Championships than anyone, but never been a rider. Here we go, the next race in round 1.
This will be Ryan Learmonth on track here, close to screen. Now he'll be taking on Andrew Badcock to the left of screen as they move both bikes forward. Now Ryan Learmonth is coming off a win at the last event in Pro Bike up at Willowbank Raceway, so he's got a bit of confidence on board with this team at the moment. Andrew Badcock with the Hayabusa style Pro Bike over there has run a best of a PB of a 7:49 on this bike. They're just looking to try and improve on that this weekend and keep these guys honest.
Yeah, Ryan Learmonth, a great young rider across from Perth. The West Australians making a big effort to come across and run these rounds in the East Coast. Oh, he's in good form too, Mark. Have a look at this. 713, 300 kilometres an hour. 7:45 for Badcock was a good showing on the Hayabusa powered bike, but Learmonth,
no,
he's into the gravel. Didn't get it pulled up in time. He's only gone a metre or two in. There won't be too much damage there, that's for sure. But, well, let's get across to Matt with Glenn Worcester while he gets himself out of the sand.
Mate, it is a busy far end today. The deep end's, everything's going on. We got, smoke coming out of bikes. We got guys in the sand trap. We got everything. But Glenn Worcester, mate, that was a good run. 7-1.
Might be a PB, I think. So, look, the team, everyone sponsors, like, wow, if that's what it is, yeah, stoked, because that's where we're aiming. So hopefully it can get better. That's the second run with the new motor. Can only get better, hopefully. Keep the fingers crossed.
Well, I'll tell you what, the new motor is paying dividends today.
Yeah, and look, the track's obviously good. Look at the numbers that have fallen out there. So, look, I'm hoping, maybe a little bit more. We'll just see. Yeah, but it's great fun.
Well, let's have a look at the Sunoco replay. Everything looked good for Ryan Learmonth on the 400-metre racetrack, but then it got a little bit ugly in the braking area.
Yeah, the Pro Bikes have twin 8-inch rotors on the front and rear of the bikes to slow down. So when they go through the finish line, they usually apply the rear brakes first, then they'll get onto the front brakes as the bike steadies, and that's when the slowing down process happens. But obviously it wasn't enough here for Ryan Learmonth as he goes into the sand here just ever so slightly, and hopefully it's only cosmetic damage to the body maybe, but they will have a bit of work to do back in the pits getting a bit of the gravel out of that bike. Matt Kavanagh is with Ryan right now.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. I'm here along Ryan Learmonth, mate. It's not the day you really want to go to the beach. Great weather for it, but the wrong beach to be at.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's not good. Not good to end up in the beach. But I just want to let everyone know that I'm all right. Everything's good. Bikes, yeah, we'll go back and have a look at that. But just hit some bumps, got airborne, couldn't brake. So we only went in a metre and a half or whatever it was. But yeah, I'm all good.
Well, that team will be picking pieces of gravel out of that bike for quite a while in the pits. Now here is Lockie Island on the Johnny's Hog Shop bike from Victoria, and he's going to come up against the guy that has run the quickest time in Australia. Could he run a 6-second pass? Well, we know the horsepower's there. It's all about coming up with the right combination for it.
Both these riders are former national champions in Pro Bike. Luke Crowley is a 2-time champion. Ireland has won the championship once as well. Both of these guys, established riders.
Oh, the high revving sound of Crowley, a 716, 306 kilometre an hour.
Oh,
very untidy in the braking area for Luke Crowley. He's got a win, but not the ET points he would have liked.
No, he would have been hoping for something quicker than that. But the interesting thing from this pass here in the Sunoco replay, Crowley's speed is just under the national speed record of 308 kilometres per hour. So they've got the bike on tune at the moment. Just get that start line right and watch out for Luke Crowley.
Well, Luke's down there with Matt in the braking area.
Yeah, the last of our pro runs, Luke Crowley. We'll grab a quick word from you. Not too bad, 716, but a big mile an hour.
Yeah, 716 wasn't too bad considering our first run. We'll go back, we'll check this data. I'm sure we've got a low O left in it. We're showing the horsepower, 190 mile an hour. So, we'll go back, check half-track mile an hour, half-track speed, and see if we can get that a little bit quicker.
No worries, good luck. Back up to you in the commentary box.
Well, Luke Crowley with a very clinical approach to things on the Tintworks bike. He knows it's there. He just wants to extract it. Now, Glenn Worcester, our championship leader, he's done the right thing by his title hopes. 28, the maximum points. Ryan Learmonth on the beach with 27. Doesn't matter. Luke Crowley, 26. Daniel Rabnott on 25. It's those four that are going to be chasing a spot in the championship final. Well, we're moving into Top Bike, the Nitro Burners. She's been an interesting season this year. Jay Upton, the man in white, he won at the opening event, Nitro up north at Darwin. But since then, it's all been getting shared around a fair bit. Chris Matheson's been fast, but had to pull out of one event with a back injury, while Gavin Spann, well, he's been in 3 finals in a row. Have a look how tight it is at the top. Chris Matheson, 305. Gavin Spann, 290. Jay Upton has slipped back to third with 276. And Les Holden is the guy that's just been so consistent picking up points along the way. Gavin Spann, though, can the quiet achiever go all the way and maybe pick up a championship? Matt Kavanagh's with him in the pits.
Gavin Spann, you've been super consistent this season, and it's got you into second position in the championship with 2 rounds left to go. What really do you need to do to keep the bike going and try and chase that championship?
Virtually exactly the same we've been doing all year. We started off and we wanted to do this, and everyone's been paying dividends, so we just got to keep on doing the same deal. And we know Matho's got to be up top, but I mean, we just got to keep on chipping away, and you never know. The only way we're going to beat him if he fails, but hopefully we can just keep on going. Really good.
Yeah, well, Matheson, Upton, you know, Matheson's above you, Upton behind you, he's third, but they're not having a great time the last couple of rounds. So what does it take to keep the bike consistent?
Just, as I said, keep on doing what we're doing, keep the maintenance up to the bike, and yeah, the crew's really good. We just got to make sure that we do everything right and ride the bike correctly and don't pussy with it.
Well, it's been a matter of consistency has been the winning formula for Gavin Spann. He hasn't got as much horsepower as either this man, Jay Upton, or Chris Matheson. But Spann has had the consistency and it's been giving him wins. Now, Jay Upton from Western Australia on the WPA and Specialty Equipment Express back bike. This thing we know is just going to suddenly one day blast into a 5-second pass mark.
You're right, and they've been battling a bit of tyre shake in the lead up to this event, this bike, so they're trying to get on top of that issue at the moment. Hopefully they've found a few things after testing this morning. They actually broke a chain tensioner in testing earlier this morning. They've had to fix that. They got it all together ready here for round 1 of racing. Les Holden, though, on this Nitro carburetted bike coming forward, 120 cubic inches of power. This bike runs into the mid 7-second zone. These guys are just looking to try and improve on that, keep the bike consistent, hopefully sneak past these guys if they sneeze on track.
Well, it is round 1 of Top Bike at the Gulf Western Oil Nitro Thunder. Both of these bikes backed by our event sponsor, Gulf Western Oil. And it is a case of David versus Goliath because, well, Les Holden, he would probably have half the horsepower of Jay Upton. But that Harley has been very consistent. Look at Upton, up and down, and all Holden had to do was stay off the centre line, but he couldn't do it. He's taken out some timing cones, and that's an instant disqualification, and it hands the win back to Jay Upton.
Let's look at the Sunoco replay. This story changed on track. You see Upton get out real strong, then overpowered the track, too much power. Holden streaks past him, but he can't keep the bike in his lane and goes across the centre line. He only just touches it as well. Have a look.
Yeah, well, for the bike to be taking out cones, whether it's the leg, the foot peg, or whatever, it is outside the extreme of the lane, and that is an instant loss. So, well, Jay Upton, sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be fast.
Jay Upton's down here and he's smiling still because it's not the way he wanted to win, but it is a win and he is chasing this championship. Jay, you've been thrashing on this bike, but unfortunately not another good run for you.
Well, yes, actually it was. It didn't look good, but it was good from inside. Now, I don't know if anybody realised we had a terrible problem this morning. We broke a chain tensioner and we thought we were out for the event. It was, it's an integral part that's difficult to fix. Well, we come up with an innovative way to get around that with about 5 minutes to spare. We got to the start line and it made all kinds of power and blew the tyre off, which is what I've been looking for. I haven't been able to get enough power recently to make it blow the tyre off. So I know we didn't win with a blast down the track, but man, that made more power than it's made in a long time.
Well, that is good news. So we're hoping you're going to go real fast later.
Yeah, and thank you to Les for knocking that block. We needed those few points, so we'll take them.
All right, back up to you in the commentary box.
Well, 20 points is 20 points, says Les Holden. He knows what he's done. He's thrown away a round win.
Yeah.
But it is in the title chase, it's kept things very, very competitive in this three-way battle we're facing in top bike.
I don't know about the 12-second pass, though, from Jay Upton. We'll get many bonus points when you see Chris Matheson coming forward, though he hasn't completed a burnout, Rob, here. So Matheson has a solo pass here in round 1, championship leader. He gets that right here with an odd-numbered field. But going through the burnout box, not doing one, tells me he's probably just going to stage his bike and back it out.
Yeah, he's already performed enough to have met the minimum requirements of a round win on the Performance Wholesale Nitro Voodoo. But soon as you are in the hands of the starter, so you start your bike and move forward under your own vehicle power, you're in the hands of the starter, and on a solo pass, you've performed the minimum required for a win. Chris went a little bit further and actually activated the lights.
Yeah, I think that's because they've been having some dramas with the bike lately. I know they all down the track at Willowbank Raceway 3 or 4 passes in a row, out the breather, and they had some issues with the engine, so maybe they're just being conservative this weekend, just not on top of things maybe, so they'll go back to the pits. We'll see him back out in round 2, but he won't get any bonus points for that at all.
So he'll only get 20 points, you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's a case of he's opening the door here for
Gavin Spann.
For Gavin Spann and Jay Upton to potentially become the championship finalists and leave the reigning champ on the outside looking in.
That's the only reason I can think of at the moment, because the championship is so tight points-wise. You don't want to be giving up 8 points potentially to either Gavin Spann or Jay Upton. Oh, I think we've got some issues here, Rob, because I can see a bit of fluid around the bike of Gavin Spann.
They're on the spot instantly with a mop. I think it's fuel. I think it's nitromethane that's spilling onto the racing surface, and Gavin Spann been told to shut the bike off. That is so unfortunate when he is in the championship battle. He's in the hands of the starter, so he'll get the 5 lose points, and now it's giving a solo pass to Adam Layton on the Gulf Western Oil's Harley Davidson that's just been sitting back waiting to fire up.
Yeah, the 4-cylinder bikes, the likes of Gavin Spann, Jay Upton, their burnout pre-race routines a lot longer than the Nitro Harley, so they usually wait the back of the lanes
hang on.
wait. Oh no.
Adam Layton has stalled. The bike has stopped. He can't refire it because it's got a no onboard starter system, so he won't run either.
He didn't sound happy, actually, Rob, the bike of Adam Layton's.
They'll get 5 points each. They're both, they do the minimum. That's it.
Can you believe Jay Upton's 12-second pass is low ET of the round? He gets 28 points. Chris Matheson gets 20 points, and the 3 remaining riders all get 5 loser points.
That's ridiculous. But that's what happens sometimes in 400 Thunder drag racing. There's going to be more action in the pits in top bike than happened on the racetrack, but they're going to be back after the break along with the pro bikes. Welcome back to Sydney Dragway as the sun just starts to set here at the Gulf Western Oil Nitro Thunder. Well, we've seen round 1 of Pro Bike, we've seen round 1 of Top Bike, which was a little bit unusual when you end up with the low ET of the round in the 12-second zone. But that's what happened. Cards can fall your way sometimes. The bikes all getting ready for their second round confrontations. But Rusty Gregory's catching up with the luckiest man at Sydney Dragway so far.
We've been talking about it for the better part of 10 years now, the race to the 5-second zone. There's been so much talk. Over the years, there's been a couple of different guys who've been knocking on the door. You've been one of them. You've gone away. You've come back. Will it happen this season? We've got 2 races left, obviously 2 rounds here today, and then, of course, the Winter Nationals. Can it happen this season?
It can happen any time. Chris Matheson's ready to go that fast. We're ready to go that fast. We went 6-1 in 2004 here, and in 2007 we absolutely should have run a 5 before we changed engines. We were all over it at half track. So we've been plenty fast enough to run in the 5s for 15 years. We just got to get the planets to align and string them all together. And right now, it's the pointy end of the championship, and we're not focusing on 5 seconds, we're focusing on championship points.
It's about the big trophy at the end of the year.
Well, like they say in America, record breakers don't win races. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they go, bang, you know. So, and we learned that a long time ago. We spent a lot of time trying to rotate the Earth, and then we learned to slow down a bit and win. And as you know, for many years we could do no wrong. But you know, there comes a time when you have to go fast, and we're getting close to it. And we're close to going fast now.
Will we see a 5 in top bike? We're going to have to wait. Will we see a 6-second pass in pro bike? That could happen here. We're on board with Daniel Rabnott over there in the other lane. Luke Crowley was burning out on the Tintworks bike. And, Mark, 7 1s in the first round.
I had a look at the data for Luke Crowley after that first round of racing. He was probably down about 1/10 of a second to the 60-foot alone on track for what a 7-1 pass was. So if they get the bike off the line a bit smoother this time, that straight away dips the bike into low 7.0s, straight up.
Trouble is, when you're trying to break records, you can overstep the mark, and this is where Daniel Rabnott could come into play right here. Bikes are in.
Oh, it's not going to be this pass.
Crowley was in trouble off the line. Look at the top speed. Unbelievable. Crowley gets there by inches. A 7.56 beats a 7.55 by virtue of the whole shot, and he was bike lengths behind.
Yeah, the big top-end speed from Luke Crowley. On the Sunoco replay here, you could see the bike porpoising off the line. They didn't get it right there yet again, but 306 kilometres an hour across the finish line for the win. He sneaks back past Daniel Rabnott. Rabnott would have seen himself pulling away from Luke Crowley, and then that top-end charge.
Oh, that would have been an awful feeling for Daniel Rabnott.
This is going to look great on this shot here, Rob.
You could see that bike just going up and down. It wasn't smooth off the start line, but Luke Crowley has the win.
Yeah, we're here with Luke Crowley, still sitting on his bike, and you had to do a bit of a ride to go around Rabnott, but you've got yourself a win.
Yeah, we overshot the clutch there on that one. We tried something we had never tried before, and didn't like it on the start line, bounced around, probably only went 1.5 or something to 60 foot, and we should be probably 105 or 106. Felt like it had a lot of mile an hour on the top end, so maybe another high 180 or 190 mile an hour. But yeah, it's definitely showing potential if we can keep going rounds.
Yeah, well, hopefully you can make it through to the final.
Hope so.
Well over 300 kilometres an hour for Luke Crowley. It is showing the horsepower, that is for sure. Ryan Lermoth, back from the beach.
There he is. He's back from the beach. He's put the towel away. He's got the race leathers on his pro bike, and he's ready to go. It's good to see they got that bike ready here for round 2. He'll be taking on Andrew Badcock now. Badcock did run a personal best in round 1 on this bike, around a 7:45. You can see the guys there around the bike, and looks like they've got issues for him. You can see him talking to the starter and the crew member.
Yeah, some sort of problem, and they're not arguing about it. They're absolutely understanding. Well, Ryan Lermoth, after going into the gravel trap on the first round, going to come up with a 7:31, 260 off the throttle way early. He wasn't going to take any chances of a return trip to the beach.
Not at all. Look at the Sunoco replay here. Ryan Lermoth got the bike off the line strong. It looked real smooth there. 7:31, probably not what they're looking for. They've been living in that 7.1 zone lately on the bike. And our winner is down in the braking area here with Max Kavanagh.
Hey, we're down here with the winners, of course. Ryan Lermoth, you got a bit lucky there on the start line, so you didn't have a competitor in that one. But how did that run feel? You got off it a little bit early.
Yeah, it felt really good. After what happened the last pass, we just wanted to run it to about 1,000 foot, shut it off and make sure everything's good. Yeah, some bumps in that lane and the other lane as well, so we just got to be careful. But yeah, everything was good, so we went down the track, so we'll try and hold her up for the next one.
Well, you got yourself 2-round win, so hopefully you're going through to the final.
Hope so.
Well, it's going to come down to the points, I think. Glenn Worcester, he's coming forward on the Force Wear Group bike, our championship leader.
Well, Learmonth has actually got low ET points at the moment with that 7:31 pass, and we've got Lockie Island, the former national champion here, shaking his head. What is going on with the bikes today? I've never seen this before. So many bikes getting shut down, I think, here. On the start line, he's got issues. Yep, he's shut it off.
He's thrown the towel in. He's taken the safety lanyard off his wrist. That's designed so that if the bike separates from the rider, the ignition's turned off, our championship leader will go alone.
It's the second solo pass in a row. And look at that, 7:25. That's low ET of the round there at 285 kilometres an hour for Glenn Worcester. So I'm just thinking out loud. Glenn Worcester, Ryan Learmonth final at the moment.
Now he's doing it. What he's doing is he's coming up with low ET. That's another 28 points for him. That's got to be good for the championship leader. And who he's going to run? I think you're right. I think it's going to be Ryan Learmonth. But Matt Kavanagh, Worcester's still doing it.
Glenn Worcester, you got yourself another round win, and you're going through to finals, we believe, here at our Nitro Thunder.
Look, loving the weekend, guys. Track's good, bike's brilliant. Thank everyone again, the crew and that, they're doing a great job. Everyone's been part of putting this engine together, even the guys in the States. Loving it. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't want to give you the commentator's curse, but the new engine sounds mint.
I tell you what, yeah, and it's getting there. So hopefully a couple more passes, a little bit more fine tuning, and we'll see what it does. So yeah.
Yeah, good luck in the finals.
Okay, cheers, guys. Thank you.
Let's have a look at those points. It is Glenn Worcester on maximum, 56. Ryan Learmonth on 54. Luke Crowley, 2 points further back, missed a shot at the championship final. But Daniel Rabnott, Badcock, Lockie Island, any of them with a live bike, they'll be back for round 3 of Pro Bike. Top fuel time.
Yeah, we got Chris Matheson on the screen there. He's already gone through his burnout here. Getting pushed back by the crew. That's one of the jobs that I would not like on a top bike team, because these bikes are big and heavy, and he's sure getting his leg work out here as he pushes the bike back.
So yeah, long burnout procedure for Chris Matheson on the Performance Wholesale back Nitro Voodoo back bike. Look at the concentration and focus in his eyes. Here comes Les Holden, the V-twin, the Harley Davidson fuel bike. Oh, he should have had a round 1 win until he got onto that centre line.
Not only round 1 win, he had the quickest bike of the first round of racing until he touched that centre line as well. So I wonder what's going to happen here, because first round of racing, Matheson didn't do a pass, so he hasn't got that data on board like the likes of Les Holden in the other lane beside him. It's going to be interesting.
Well, Matheson has a championship at stake. He can't afford to give this one away. Launches hard. Oh, smoke out of the bike from, before 1,000 foot.
You can
Lots
see
of smoke.
colour there.
6:09. Oh. He wasn't on the throttle any more than about 4 seconds, and he runs a 6:09.
Yeah, the Sunoco replay, he backed off probably close to 100 metres before that finish line there. There's issues with that bike, but a 6:09. That is knocking on the door of that 5-second pass we were talking about earlier today.
Off it so early. At least no more than 4 seconds on the throttle. Matheson has got it.
Yeah, we got ourselves a round 2 winner, Chris Matheson. He's, you've done another 6.0 with a 9 this time.
Oh, right. Okay. Need to go a bit harder.
Yeah, we keep asking ourselves, how many 6.0s does it take to run a 5?
A few.
It looks like you still got a little bit of oil coming out of the back. Still a bit of a breather problem?
Yeah, it's breathing heavy. The motor's good, but we just can't quite work out why it's breathing so heavy. It's a bit like me, old and tired, I think. So,
well, let's see how you go in round number 3.
Yeah, we'll give it another go next time.
No worries. Back up to you guys in the commentary.
Well, a man of understatement, that is for sure, is our Chris Matheson. But he's put himself into the final. Here's Adam Layton with a solo.
Yeah, Adam Layton currently designing his own fuel system and clutch setup as well for this bike. They've got the new fuel system on board, but the new clutch system's still a little bit of ways yet, so they're just still finding what this fuel setup wants with the current clutch setup, and hopefully they can get back into that 6-second zone. This is good.
It's dropped a cylinder. He's launched okay, then dropped a cylinder by the look of it, Mark.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the, he went 7.52 seconds there across the finish line, but he was 4.3 seconds to half track. That is a 6-second pass every single day of the week for this Nitro Harley. So that tells me, you know what, they're starting to get on top of it a little bit here on the Sunoco replay. You can see the bike was strong, and then it started to mix up cylinders there, the fuel getting into the engine there and washing out the spark, and he had to obviously shut it off. But Adam Layton will be with Matt Kavanagh in the braking area.
Yeah, Adam Layton, you've been doing a lot of work on your fuel system. You're all over Facebook about it, but you're getting some data now.
Yeah, I've got the data and I've pioneered something that I'm really proud of. I've been working on using all my Hare and Forbes machinery. I've been on the mills and the lathes and the CNCs all week, and I'm just happy to get that run and grab some data. So this one's thanks to Hare and Forbes. You're amazing company, amazing tools, and my workshop's full of them at APL Performance Bikes, and I'm just pumped. I can't wait to get back out there. I've got some data and bring it on, and this bike's going to go.
Yeah, well, good luck in round 3.
Thank you. Good luck.
Well, there is Jay Upton, the White Knight, on his Nitro Monster, this Specialised Equipment Express back bike. And this bike for Gavin Spann, originally built by Elmer Trett, one of the pioneers of top fuel bike racing, the late great Elmer Trett. And backed by Noodlebox, the Queenslander is hoping to go into yet another top bike final, but he is going to need something special here for that to happen. He needs the win, and virtually he needs Jay Upton to not get down the racetrack.
It's a pedal fest.
On and off the throttle, both sides. Look at the centre line, so close for Upton. Kept it safe. 7:52 will be the win. No final this time for Gavin Spann. Man, they were on and off the throttle everywhere.
Yeah, it looks like he overpowered the track slightly again. You could see him on and off that throttle there off the start line, then it started mixing up cylinders. So when they start spinning, they're throwing a lot of fuel into that engine. It washes out the spark. The raw fuel then comes out through the pipes, and obviously he's got no power. So he just has to button it off, and hopefully he gets to the finish line before Gavin Spann.
In the end, they were both just rolling, hoping to get there first. I thought, there, Spann's got this, but not to be. That man, the White Knight, Jay Upton, goes to another final.
Yeah, Jay Upton's down here just getting his bike ready to go back to the pits. Jay, 750, but you seem to be getting on top of the bike again.
Yes, well, obviously way too much for the racetrack that time, and part of that's because we were tuned up to go some time ago. You know, we just got delayed with a couple of bits of downtime there. But obviously the engine's making power and overcoming the racetrack to some extent, but fortunately we managed to gather it up and keep it in and get there.
We'll see how you go in round 3.
Absolutely, we'll be having a go.
And in round 3, we're going to see another classic Upton versus Matheson Championship final. The title is still on the line. So, man, oh man, that is going to be a tough one. Not the weekend Gavin Spann would have hoped for, only picking up 14 points so far. He'll be back in round 3 trying to pick up another 20. Top Bike round 3 and championship final is coming up, as is Pro Bike, and it's all after the break. Welcome back to Sydney Dragway. We are heading into the finals at the Gulf Western Oil Nitro Thunder, and it's all bikes. We're talking Pro Bike, we're talking Top Fuel Bike, and we've got some great round 3 action coming our way, as well as the 2 big championship finals.
First up, we've got Lockie Island to take on Andrew Badcock here. Both of these riders have not got a victory yet today in racing, so they're 0 from 2 in rounds 1 and 2 of racing. One of these guys is going to go home 0 from 3 and one from 3 as well.
So yeah, Lockie Island with a problem in round 2, had to shut the bike off without actually taking part in the run. So he'll be trying to redeem himself here.
Yeah, the tricky thing with these bikes is getting them off the start line, just like their professional counterparts in the other classes. These bikes have got too much power to be applied straight off the hit, so they take the power away, whether it's through clutch settings, timing settings and that on the bike, and then try and get all that power back in as quick as possible without blowing the tyre off or shaking and so forth. That's the fun part about these pro bikes and the tuning side of things.
Track conditions here at Sydney Dragway have been extremely good. Well, there's an example of Lockyer Island not getting it right. The bike just wanted to leap up and down and right across the finish line, a 7.51, 263 kilometres an hour. Andrew Badcock picks up his first win of the evening.
Yeah, look at the Sunoco replay here. Lockyer Island was awesome on the tree. 002 reaction time there. That's the quickest reaction time we've seen today in Pro Bike. So he got the start line right there off the initial lead, but then he porpoised, so he spun and then gripped, spun and gripped. Didn't have that set up just quite right there off the start line. You can see the front wheel going up and down, up and down. But Andrew Badcock, he was very consistent this weekend. 740, 750. He's starting to get on top of that Hayabusa motor.
Well, here comes Luke Crowley. Didn't make it into the championship final on the Tintworks bike. Has been playing with the clutch set up right throughout the event and has not yet quite got it right.
I must admit, I walked past their pit earlier just before this session. They had that clutch in and out. They looked very, very busy.
Daniel Rabnott. Now, he has just been showing extremely good consistency. So, yeah, this is going to be a tough run.
Well, Crowley actually tunes both of these bikes.
Wonder if that's a good thing or bad thing. No, he throws everything at it every time he can for whoever he's working for. Hey, that's quick off the start line.
4.41 seconds half track. Watch Crowley.
690, 311 kilometres an hour. Luke Crowley, he hasn't snuck into the sixes. He kicked the door down and said, "We're here. Look at the crew."
Oh, that's why when I saw that half track increment, I had to get in there. 4.41. I knew that was going to be quick, but I didn't expect a 690. We're on board the Sunoco replay. We're in Daniel Rabnott's lane, but it was all about the left lane. Luke Crowley, history. We've just seen it here in Pro Bike.
The first 6-second pass in Australia on a Pro Bike, and it belongs to Luke Crowley. Hey, Rusty, it's history.
Australian history right there, 690. That is the first 6-second pass in Pro Bike history. How about it, Sydney Dragway? Put your hands together. Down here with Andrew from the group, mate. You guys are pumped with that.
Yeah, we are, mate. We just had the maddest thrash. We had the clutch in and out of it 3 times. Only just made it down here, and then there you go.
690, there's no other words for it.
That's been about 10 years in the making.
Mate, Luke Crowley has reset the Australian record. You didn't just go into a 6, you ran a 690.
Yeah, well, unbelievable. It's my best mate. We just thrashed like you wouldn't believe. We literally just pushed to the start line. Daniel was sitting in the burnout pad waiting for us. We thrashed, we changed everything in the clutch for the last few laps. Huge shout out to my crew guy Budge, Blaze Hansen, Gavin Hansen. Man, we've been working our butts off trying to work this out, and obviously we found where it needs to be and where it wants to be, and that was just hauling the mail on that run.
Unbelievable. History in the making. The first 690, the first 6 of any sort, and it's a 690.
Incredible.
And he doesn't get a trophy. He wasn't in the championship final. This is the championship final.
That's why those bonus points are so valuable that we talk about in rounds 1 and 2 of this all-run format. We've got Glenn Worcester on board with Glenn Worcester. Ryan Learmonth, he is about to move forward. He won the last round in Pro Bike. He's on a little bit of a mini streak here of wins. Ryan Learmonth, we can see the crew here on Glenn Worcester's bike. Hopefully everything is A-OK.
I tell you what, they don't look happy.
They're looking at the bike. He is the championship leader, Glenn Worcester.
It's a single finger from the official, and it wasn't a rude one. It was just signalling that it will be a single pass. It's a solo. It's a buy run. It's a freebie for Ryan Learmonth. He's going to go 2 from 2 in the event stakes, and he's going to run a 7:07, 295 just to wrap it up. What a great outing for the West Australian.
Yeah, look at the Sunoco replay here. Ryan Learmonth, that is a personal best for the team as well. In the final, 2 wins in a row for the team. They are looking very strong, but on the start line, we're going to probably have a dejected Glenn Worcester with Rusty.
Well, I'm down here with Glenn Worcester, who will take the runner-up today, despite not being able to take the tree in the final round. Mate, the proverbial $2 part.
Oh, yeah, after seeing Luke run that run, I was getting all G'd up too. So, look, you never know. That's motorsport, isn't it? It's been a good weekend for us. Little things happen. So, yeah, we'll be back. We'll keep trying to kick some goals.
Any idea what happened?
Look, we've got an external oil filter, and I wouldn't mind betting one of the lines may have just shook itself loose. It's hard to tell till we get back, but I don't think it's anything major, touch wood. So.
Well, the good news for you is that you're still going to be in good shape for the championship. I think you'll still be leading coming out of this one, so onward and upward to the winners, I guess.
Yeah, look, thanks, guys. Thanks, Sydney, for the weekend, eh? Cheers.
Awesome. Matt Kavanagh's at the top end of the racetrack with our winner.
Yeah, we're here with a pretty excited Ryan Lemont. You've made it 2 gold Christmas trees out of 2 rounds.
Yeah, it's pretty good going, isn't it? Pretty good going, isn't it, Matt? Yeah, we love it, man. We worked hard today, as you've seen. Put it in the sand. But yeah, credit goes to my crew. Like, we had to clean this thing, like the bike, just get all that rocks and everything out of it and get it back on track. It's not right, but at least we got it to the track, you know, and we were there at the end.
Well, you got a fast bike and it goes back to back, and that's how you need to win races.
That's exactly right. Same thing again, you know, like engine-wise, you know, I've got some good people behind me, like Rhett Lockie, bottom end. You know, we've got Gavin Forbes over in Perth, and he does all our stuff together. Star Racing head on it, you know, and it's flying, man. It's going to go quicker too. Got to chase Luke now.
Look at that. Glenn Worcester retains the lead of the championship with just the one event to go up at Willowbank Raceway. But Ryan Lemont, what a charge. He is within striking distance come that final round. Lockie Island, Daniel Rabnott, Luke Crowley, well, they're not worried about the championship. What they're worried about is event wins. But that's going to be a major, major battle up there at Willowbank. As we now move into round 3 of Top Bike here at the Gulf Western Oil Nitro Thunder, Sydney Dragway, providing a absolutely brilliant racing surface this weekend for fast record-breaking times. Will we see a 5-second pass later on?
It could be on the cards after what we just saw in Pro Bike from Luke Crowley. Gavin Spann on track now. 3 consecutive finals in a row. Comes to a halt here at the Nitro Thunder event. This team second in the championship will be taking on Les Holden from the Nitro Mojo drag racing team.
Very important for Gavin Spann to try and beat this man here. Les Holden, nice and consistent on the V-twin. And then he sits up and it's actually pulled the wristband out, which has stopped the engine. That's a kill switch. Designed so if the rider falls off the bike, it stops the ignition on the bike. But it looks that he has just made a wrong move and it's pulled it out, stopped the bike. He can't restart. Gavin Spann will get a very important 20 points here to keep him in touch in this Top Bike Championship, Mark.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Gavin Spann just sort of launches the bike, maybe gets to half track and buttons it off and takes a nice happy bike home and then focus on the Gulf Western Oil Winter Nationals.
Yeah, no ET points up for grabs in round 3. He knows he's on a solo, so yeah, there you go. He's going to do that. He certainly is running on a privateer's budget, so not running it through the back door will save him on some maintenance. And every time you look at these bikes, they cost you money.
Exactly. Once you throw nitro into an engine, it costs money. The explosion that it causes inside that combustion chamber is just absolutely incredible. Here we are, the Sunoco replay, Gavin Spann. Actually, oh no, there was actually issues.
There was a problem with the bike.
There you go. Looked front on and
it got up and then all of a sudden we saw raw fuel out the pipe, so you got to wonder whether maybe something in the ignition just went away and
that was a lot of fuel.
Then the fuel was out there. Well, this is the big one, the championship final, and well, why do we call it championship final? Because these are the 2 top point scorers from the first 2 rounds. They get to race for the win and runner-up trophy and the biggest chunk of championship points.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rob, I actually went past the bits of Chris Matheson just before this. They were doing an engine change on that bike and they weren't sure if they were going to make it because of the time constraints between rounds of racing. There was a lot of work to do for that team. You can see Upton on track. Can't see Chris Matheson yet.
I'm looking into the background. There is no Chris Matheson in the fire-up area. So a little bit of an anticlimax. I was really looking forward to this one because I was thinking they could potentially, they could force each other into a 5-second pass.
Well, championship-wise, Jay Upton came to this event 3rd spot, so he potentially can move up to 2nd spot now in the championship.
It is going to be so tight at Willowbank Raceway come the Gulf Western Oil Winter Nationals. But here at the Nitro Thunder, it is going to be a Jay Upton win. I don't think you're going to see him backing off early unless there is some sort of problem.
Well, he said 2004 he went 6.1 seconds on this track.
Oh, it's starting to light. until half track, and the chute comes out. Still runs a 6:58 at only 251 kilometres an hour. It looked quick over the first half, Mark.
When we talk about the 5-second zone of top bike here on Snowco Replay, you need to get to half track in under 4 seconds. Right then, Jay Upton went 3.98 seconds. That was absolutely moving for Jay Upton. Here's with Matt Kavanagh.
Yeah, Jay Upton is back in the hunt and very fast to the half track with a 3.98. You did all on your own though. Matheson couldn't front up, but you get yourself a gold Christmas tree. You've got to be happy about that.
We had a terrible day, or we started off in a terrible way, you know. No testing yesterday, and this morning in the warm-up, the shakedown pass, we broke the chain tensioner, and that looked like putting us out for the whole day. So a bit of innovative thinking got us over that and got us to the first round with a hell of a rush on. And from there, we've been tidying up on the tune-up. Last lap, every time I touched the throttle, it blew the tyre off, so we put a new tyre on for this lap because I figured I had to race Nitro Voodoo. So we always need to bring enough for them.
I tell you what, it's going to put the championship very close together between you, Gavin Spann, and Chris Matheson.
Well, it certainly will, and that's always a good thing, you know. It's nice to have a last round of the race where anybody could win, you know. It puts a show on for the crowd, for the sponsors, for everybody, you know. It makes everybody try their hardest. It's a great thing, and sometimes people lose interest. If one team is head and shoulders away early in the season, the rest of them lose interest a bit, but now, anybody could do it.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic at the Winter Nationals. Can't wait to see you there.
Yeah, Matho, you better bring a few more engines.
Back up to you guys in the commentary box.
Yeah, there's the challenge. Chris Matheson is leading though, but look by how much. 3 lousy points is in it between Chris Matheson and Jay Upton. Gavin Spann on 3:44 is still well and truly in the hunt. That is going to be a massive 3-way championship battle in top bike come the Gulf Western Oil Winter Nationals at Willowbank Raceway. Well, that's it from the Gulf Western Oil Nitro Thunder at Sydney Dragway. It has been an incredible series of shows covering all of our professional categories. Next time we're with you on 400 Thunder Drag Racing, it's going to be all of the action from the Winter Nationals.
Coming up after the break, we head to Wakefield Park Raceway in Goulburn for the opening round of the Australian Super Truck Nationals for 2019.